Yo, what's up guys? You got II here today once again, bringing you another NPL Minors Week 4 match versus Turk. Now, Turk has a pretty threatening team. He has Lander's Eye, Thunder's T, as his Zemon, Azumarill, Goodra, Mega Houndoom, Bronzong, Savali, Aerodactyl, also as a Zemon, Weezing, Breloom, and Avalog. And over here you can see my team. I'm still rocking the Manaphy, Z Latios, Dugtrio, Mega Aerodactyl, Rotom Heat, Cobalion, Z Alola Ninetales, Donphan, Sneasel, Trevenant, Lanoon, and the Whirlpeed. So as of right now, our record is not the best, so we're looking to change that around this week. And to do that, we're going to need to bring in some bench players, So up first we have Trevenant, the Not Groot, rocking the Citrus Berry with the Shadow Claw, Power Up Punch, Leech Seed, and Substitute. So if you look at his team, Breloom is an enormous threat to me, as is a lot of things on this team. But really Breloom stands out as one of its biggest threats. So I really needed to bring Trevenant to stop spores and to stop things like Bulk Up Breloom and Drain Punch and Toxic Orb and all that sort of thing. It could run, so I'm rocking Citrus Berry with the Shadow Claw, Power Up Punch, Leech Seed, and Substitute. So this set is mainly designed to break any variant of Breloom, and it also serves me as a decent and okay Azumarill switch in. Again, if it's banded, it's still going to be able to kill me. But other than that, it can take a hit, and I believe this speed allows me to outspeed. Yes, it allows me to outspeed max speed Adamant Azumarill. So that's the thought process behind that. Power Up Punch is so I can beat Bulk Up Toxic Orb Breloom in case that thing is like a bulky variant or something and tries to beat me through that way. Leech Seed is obviously for recovery, and then Substitute is to sub up on things that will not want to stay in. So pretty self-explanatory, but next up we have Mr. Blue Sky, the Latios. So basically, this Latios set is designed to outspeed Lander's Eye and Thunderous T. Enough speed to outspeed those threats. Electrium Z is for the Azumarill. I believe even without a +1 from Combine, we can KO banded max attack, max speed Azumarill. Of course, if he's like AV, he'll be able to tank 1, or if he's like just really bulky or something like that, he'll be able to tank it as well. But if it is bulky, then it's not that big of a threat to my other members of the team, so that's the idea behind that. Obviously, this set doesn't do too well versus Bronzong, but we'll be able to deal with that through other necessary means. Ice Beam is for the Lander's Eye and Thunder's T, and then Psyshock is for things like Goodra, which could be a big threat if I let my checks to it get weakened. So next up we have Checkmate the Dugtrio with the Earthquake, Aerial Ace, Rock Tomb, and Memento. So this thing can trap Mega Houndoom. It can trap just mainly Mega Houndoom and Goodra, which could be an issue if it's Assault Vest. And depending on what type of Savali set, it can maybe trap that as well. Aerial Ace is for the Breloom. Mach Punch does not kill me with this HP investment, and neither does Sucker Punch from Mega Houndoom. So that's the idea behind that. Rock Tomb is so I hopefully don't miss. So instead of Stone Edge or Rock Slide, I decided to go Rock Tomb because it lowers speed for other threats on my team, such as Mega Aerodactyl and the Latios. So yeah. And then Memento is to weaken things as a last-ditch effort, so things like Latios can maybe set up on. But yeah, other than that, pretty self-explanatory. Earth Plate is to boost the earthquake damage. And yeah, so next up we have the Mega Aerodactyl with the Roost, Ice Fang, Crunch, and Rock Slide. Enough speed, I believe, to be able to outspeed his own Aerodactyl if he does decide to bring that. Ice Fang is for the Lander's Eye, Thunder's T, Goodra. Crunch is for the Bronzong, and then Rock Slide is for General Stab versus things like Avalog and his own Aerodactyl and Mega Houndoom as well. So pretty self-explanatory. I believe I'm running like enough attack to be able to KO max defense Bronzong, as well as one-shot Lander's Eye, obviously, and do a lot to Goodra as well if he's not running like a defensive spread on that. So yeah. Next up we have Rotom Heat, the Cherry Bomb with the Leftovers Defog, Hidden Power Ice, Volt Switch, and Overheat. Enough speed, I believe, to be able to outspeed max speed Breloom. so I don't have to worry about any jolly spores going on there. Volt Switch is for momentum, and then Overheat is for stab from things like Bronzong and his own Wheezing, and then Hidden Power Ice is for things like Lander's Eye, in case he doesn't have something to hit or heat for that. Of course, he could be rocking Rock Slide, but other than that, and then Hidden Power Ice also hits Goodra, although it doesn't do much. It also hits Thunderous T, which does an okay amount if I don't want to risk missing Overheat. So last but not least, we have Cobalion, the Athos, and Cobalion is mainly meant to get up rocks and weaken his Landers if he does decide to lead that. Taunt is for things like Bronzong. Volt Switch is for momentum. Shuckleberry allows me to live 1 Life Orb, Modest, Sheer Force, Earth Power versus from Lander's Eye. So I'll be able to take that fairly well. It also means, this investment also means I can live a hit from Specs Goodra. But yeah, this Mon is mainly just meant to get up rocks, but it also serves as a decent pivot for me. And that's the main idea behind that. So Wincon is Latios and maybe Mega Aerodactyl. So we're going to be trying to use those to win the game. But other than that, let's just hop right into the match. So he is rocking the Thunder's T, the Lander's Eye, the Avalog, the Bronzong, and the Goodra, and the Azumarill. So a bunch of threats on his team. Some things I got to be wary of is Belladrum Azu. Got to be wary of Nasty Paw, Agility Thunderous. Rock Polish Landers could be also be an issue if it's mixed. Have no idea what Goodra set he could be rocking. There's a bunch of stuff he could do with that. But other than that, let's hop right into the match. So looking at his team, I really like my lead of Cobalion. And as I said before, I can live as hit from Specs Goodra, or if it's banded, I have the Sugarberry for the Earthquake. I just want to get rocks here, and yeah, that's exactly what I go for. I go for the Stealth Rocks, and he flamethrowers me, and guess what? I get burned. So yeah, you know, off to a rough start that way. This tells me he's not Specs, but that burn is really unfortunate because that limits my switch ins by a fair amount. So that's actually really unfortunate for me. I'm special, so it doesn't matter to me on the physical side, but again, if I didn't get that burn, I'd be switching. I could switch this in a lot easier, I guess. But yeah, so I Volt Switch out of this match. No, not really. I just Volt Switch into Aerodactyl because I am a defensive, or not a defensive. I'm a semi HP invested Mon, and I can take hits from Goodra fairly decently, even if he goes for Muddy Water, which he does, and he gets the lowered accuracy. So strike 2 for me there. Things are not looking good for me, but I know I can just roost off this damage. Maybe he'll miss a Muddy Water as he does then. Of course, now all of my attacks probably won't be able to hit as I go for Ice Wing. I actually do hit, so, you know, good on Spirit in the Sky. He actually turns out to be gooey, though, and my speed is lowered as he goes for the Muddy Water again and say goodbye to my accuracy. So Mega Aerodactyl is just about blind now, and it's not looking good. So I go for Roost just to recover that damage. I'd probably miss anyway, so really, like, what's the point, I'm thinking. So now I go right out into not Groot. I know I can take an Avalanche because I'm not attacking him, so that's the thought process behind that. I figure this thing's a lot less useful because he didn't bring the Breloom, so I go into this and I'm like, all right, let's get things on. So I go for Substitute just to scout if he has like the Avalanche or something like that. If he wants to go for Toxic, I'll dodge that, and I do dodge it. So now I can go for the Leech Seed and get some recovery back. I know he's not Sap Sipper because he revealed the Gooey, but he turns out to be Ipapa Berry, which is unfortunate because I could have killed him a lot sooner. I also find out that he's slower than me, and I was a bit surprised by that. I thought he'd be a bit more speed invested, but he's not. So he goes for Flamethrower, and he keeps breaking my sub, so I'm just going to keep going for Substitute. I don't want to touch him, otherwise my speed will be lowered. Not that it matters much anyway, but in case Bandit Ozzy wanted to come out later, I want to be able to outspeed that as he continues to go for Flamethrower as I continue to sub up. I'm hoping they'll switch so I can get some more lefties back from something else as he just continues to Flamethrower. He gets a crit there. Of course it mattered, as now I kind of choke here. I should have just attacked him at this point, but I wanted to sub up and get another turn with Harvest maybe on the off chance he'd switch, But no, he attacks me and it breaks this up, and I'm at a lower amount of HP than I was before. And I still do not have my Harvest Citrus Berry, which is unfortunate. But, you know, it is what it is. As he goes into Lander's Eye, as I figure he's going to want to go for, like, Hidden Power Ice or something along those lines. As he goes for the Rock Slide, probably predicting me to go out into a Rotom Heat. And that's fine with me. I'm going to go for the Hidden Power Ice, hoping I can weaken it a bit more as he just goes into Avalugg. And now I can just Volt Switch on out of here. Could go for Recover here, but I'm actually going to go into Rotom Heat, because I think he'll want to go for a Toxic, as he does, and now I can just go for Volt Switch and get some more momentum. So things are not looking bad despite the initial hacks, as I go right back into Groot, and I get my Citrus Berry. Now I have enough investment to take a modest Life Orb, Hidden Power Ice, although it is a roll. If he's timid, it's not a roll, but if he's modest, it is. So he goes for the Hidden Power, and it kills me. So that tells me, at the time, it told me that he was probably a modest nature and got lucky, but I found out later that he was actually Hidden Power Flying, which kind of surprised me, but he's not, so gets the kill there. But I find out that he's Life Orb, which is definitely helpful for me. Now I know he's not Scarf, so I go into Aerodactyl, and I go for the Crunch, I believe, expecting him to go into Bronzong, as he does, and I'm doing enough to be able to 2-hit KO that thing, as he just goes right out into Azu. From that damage, I cannot tell if he's banded or offensive or whatnot. I know he's HP invested, but I don't know exactly what set he is. So he goes for Liquidation, and this is the part where I probably messed up. Again, I didn't know what set he was at this time, but I figure even an HP invested Azumarill gets killed by Gigavolt Havoc. So I figured that was a free move for me to go for it here. I thought he'd be like a Citrus Berry or something along those lines. But I go for it, and even if it's Assault Vest, max HP, it's a roll. But I get a low roll there, and yeah, goodbye, Mr. Blue Sky. So that could have been a misplay on my part, but I still have a chance to win here. Rotom Heat can take an Aqua Jet, as I do, and then I just go for Volt Switch, get some more momentum. Aerodactyl is looking clean for this game. If he's Scarf Thunderous, then it's going to be a lot tougher. I don't know what set he is, so I just go into Dugtrio as he goes for the Hidden Power Freeze. Whoops, 1 second. I was freezing up there. He goes for the Hidden Power Ice, I believe, and he does a lot of damage as he just proceeds to go right back into Bronzong. I know he's going to switch. There's no reason why he would stay in to release Scarf or to take a Rock Tomb or something along those lines. So I double out into Rotom Heat, and I just go for Overheat and get my kill. Now, things are looking kind of tough for me, especially if he is the Scarf Thunderous variant. I know because if he is Scarfed that he has to switch. I know this, and I need Rotom Heat alive to take Thunderbolts or something along those lines. So I switch out and proceed to sack Dugtrio, as he turns out to be a Rock Polish variant, which is definitely unfortunate for me. That makes it a lot tougher. If he wasn't Rock Polish, I probably could have won the game. He goes for Rock Slide though, and I just go for Ice Fang and get my kill. I still have a chance though if he's not Scarf Thunderous. I pretty much win if he's not Scarf Thunderous. I don't know at that point. I didn't know at that point, but he turns out to be. And I still think I'm going to win here because I still think he's Hidden Power Ice, but I believe he turns out to be Hidden Power Water, and he gets a high roll there and kills Rotom Heat. So things are not looking good for the CT Cobalions, but definitely a good game to Turk there. He definitely played the end game very well. I didn't know what sets he was. I was fearing more of an Agility Nasty plot set, which could have done a lot more, I think. And then, of course, his Thunderous T was also a Zmon, so that made it a lot more threatening. But other than that, good game to Turk, and hopefully next week we can bring it back. We're still not out of the playoff race yet, so we're going to need to start picking up some wins if we want to proceed or get promoted in the long game. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more matches.